You are not here by coincidence. Something beyond your understanding has paused the noise around you so that this truth could find you. You are chosen for this exact moment. Everything you've endured, every silent prayer, every closed door, it has all been shaping you for the greater things God has prepared. You've sensed it for a while, haven't you? That quiet pull inside your chest that refuses to let you live small. It's not ambition, it's assignment. You weren't made to blend into the crowd or walk in borrowed purpose. Heaven planted something inside you that this world cannot contain. That stirring is divine evidence you are chosen, anointed, and set apart. Think about the pain that almost crushed you. The moments you whispered, "God, where are you?" and heard only silence. Those moments were not wasted. They were the sacred ground where faith was born. Every disappointment was direction. Every detour was divine. The delays that frustrated you were really protection. He was not withholding something from you. He was preparing something for you. You thought the wilderness meant you were forgotten, but wildernesses are where God trains his warriors. It's where he teaches you to hear his voice without the noise of the crowd. Isolation isn't rejection, it's refinement. And now, after all the waiting, all the pressing, heaven whispers, "It's time." The same fire that once frightened you will now fuel you. What once wounded you will soon become the weapon you carry into battle. You've walked through enough storms to recognize the sound of thunder as a signal that rain is coming. God is not finished with you. He is just beginning. You might feel unqualified. You might think, "Who am I for God to choose?" But destiny doesn't require your perfection. It requires your surrender. He doesn't call the flawless. He calls the willing. And when you said yes, even in fear, heaven wrote your name into this moment. You have survived what others didn't. You've stood in the ruins and still managed to worship. You've faced doors that slammed shut and yet kept believing that one would open. That faith, small as a seed, was enough to move mountains you didn't even see falling behind you. And now, as the wind of change begins to move, you can feel it, something new awakening in your spirit. The heaviness is lifting. The old version of you is fading. You are crossing the line from waiting into walking, from surviving into shining. This is not just motivation, it's revelation. You were never meant to stay hidden. God is unveiling his chosen ones, and you are one of them. Listen, the same God who saw you cry in silence now calls you by name. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead is breathing courage back into your soul. You may have been overlooked by people, but you were never overlooked by heaven. Your pain was not pointless. It was the price of purpose. So rise now. Step into your calling with holy confidence. Heaven has already cleared your path. You're not walking into uncertainty, you're walking into prophecy. Everything you lost will return with interest. Everything broken will be rebuilt stronger. And everything delayed will now be delivered on time. And hear this, straight from the word that cannot fail. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." That's you. You are the light. You are the proof that darkness doesn't win. Your presence carries heaven's signature. You were never meant to hide. You were meant to shine. If this word has found you, don't ignore it. Take a step of faith, like, share, and subscribe so that others who are chosen may awaken too. And as a prophetic act that you receive this calling, comment 700 and 77 below. Let heaven see your agreement that this is your moment to rise. You are standing on the edge of something extraordinary. The heavens are aligning. The atmosphere around you is shifting, and the power of divine purpose is igniting within you. Do not retreat now. This is your moment to step into the fullness of everything God has ordained for you. Every seed you sowed in tears will soon bloom in triumph. What once felt like loss will reveal itself as strategy. You were not buried, you were planted. Now, the season of awakening begins. And your spirit will testify that every delay was preparation for destiny's arrival. Heaven is watching as you rise. Chosen one. Angels are moving. Doors are unlocking. And favor is flowing toward your name. Walk boldly into the new. Carry the fire. Speak the truth. And let your life become living proof that God still chooses ordinary people for extraordinary purpose. This is the moment creation has been waiting for you, stepping fully into who you are. No more fear. No more hesitation. Heaven's light rests on you now. Walk forward with faith and fire. For your purpose is no longer a promise, it is your present reality. Rise and shine. Before you ever took your first breath, heaven had already written your name into the story of destiny. You were not a random thought or an after effect of circumstance. You were intentionally marked by the Creator Himself. Every detail of your existence, every gift, every struggle, every longing, carries the fingerprint of divine purpose. You have always been known, even when you felt invisible. There were moments you questioned why you didn't fit in, why you saw things differently, why your heart carried compassion that others mocked or misunderstood. That is because you were designed with heaven's blueprint, not the world's. You carry a frequency that darkness cannot imitate and the world cannot contain. The very atmosphere around you shifts when you enter a room because you were made to bring change, not to blend in. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You are marked by heaven, and that mark is both blessing and burden. It draws favor, but it also draws fire. You've noticed how resistance follows you, how people's energy changes when you walk in, how situations seem to challenge your peace. That's not coincidence. The anointing on your life irritates the insecurity in others. Your light exposes what darkness tries to hide. But God never marks someone without equipping them. The weight you carry is evidence of the trust heaven has placed in you. You were chosen to carry revelation, to speak words that unlock hope, to live in such a way that others catch the scent of eternity when they're near you. Every battle you face is proof of your assignment. Darkness doesn't attack what isn't threatening. You may not realize it, but heaven has been preparing you for years. The long nights when peace felt far away, the seasons when no one clapped for your progress, the prayers that seemed unanswered, all of it was divine training. Like a soldier learning to wield a sword, you've been learning to master faith, patience, and endurance. While others sought comfort, you were being refined for calling. There is something sacred about being set apart. It's not always easy. It means you often stand alone. But solitude is where the Spirit speaks the loudest. God hides His chosen ones until the appointed time, because premature exposure can destroy purpose. That's why doors closed and opportunities vanished, not because you were unworthy, but because He was protecting what He planted in you from premature harvest. You were chosen to represent heaven on earth, and the mark of that calling is unmistakable. It's in the way your spirit feels restless in compromise, in the way you cannot tolerate lies, in the way your heart breaks for things others ignore. These are signs of divine DNA. You are a carrier of light in a world starving for truth. And though you've been through much, you've never lost that glow, because it's not yours to lose. Even when you felt abandoned, God was near. Even when you doubted, He still called your name. You've been walking through a refining fire that purifies motives and clarifies mission. You are learning that obedience is better than applause, that surrender is stronger than striving, and that the crown of purpose rests only on those who have learned to bow. The mark of heaven cannot be erased. You may stumble, but grace will always find you. You may feel weary, but strength will rise again. Every scar you carry is now a testimony. Every failure, a foundation stone for the next season. You are walking evidence that divine plans cannot be destroyed by human pain. Let your heart rest in this truth. You don't have to fight for recognition. God knows who you are. He will reveal you when the time is right. Until then, keep walking in quiet confidence. The same hand that marked you will guide you, and the same Spirit that called you will empower you. You are chosen, not by vote, not by luck, but by decree. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. This is your identity, set apart, seen, and sent. You are not defined by where you came from, but by where heaven is taking you. You are marked by purpose that cannot be erased by failure. So walk forward, not with fear, but with the calm certainty that you were never meant to fit in, because you were chosen to stand out. The world may never understand the way you move, but heaven does. Every step you take in silence echoes in eternity. Keep walking. Chosen one, your path is sacred. Your pace is divine, and your presence carries the fragrance of the one who sent you. Soon the hidden will be revealed, and the overlooked will be celebrated. You will see why it had to happen this way. The same mark that made you different will now make you unstoppable. Heaven's seal upon your life cannot be broken. Rise and keep shining. You've carried more than most could bear. The nights that left you trembling, the seasons that drained you dry, the moments when you wondered if you would ever feel whole again, all of it was molding you for something divine. The weight you carried was never a curse. It was evidence that heaven trusted you with depth. You see, the calling on your life isn't light. It's not a title or a platform, it's a burden that only the chosen can carry. You've wept in silence while still showing up for others. You've encouraged people even when your own heart was breaking. That's the mark of someone being prepared for greater things. The fire didn't come to destroy you. It came to prove that you are made of something unbreakable. Pain was your teacher. Loss became your tutor. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every lonely road carved wisdom into your soul. You began to see that strength isn't built in victory, it's forged in surrender. You've learned to let go of what you cannot control and cling to the God who never let you go. There were nights when you asked, "Why me? God, why this?" And heaven responded not with explanation, but with endurance. Because sometimes the answer isn't clarity, it's capacity. God was expanding you to carry more glory, more wisdom, more compassion. You cannot pour healing into others until you've known what it means to bleed. The tears you cried in secret are now turning into oil, the oil of anointing, the oil that will heal others. What once broke you will soon flow through you as power. Every scar becomes a sermon. Every bruise becomes a testimony. The very things you thought disqualified, you are the credentials heaven will use to open doors. You are a vessel of endurance, a walking miracle of grace. And even though you've been misunderstood, even though some turned away, you are still standing. That's not by accident. That's evidence of divine protection. You are still here because purpose refused to die inside you. You've learned how to carry pain without losing peace. You've discovered that worship in weakness is more powerful than strength in pride. The moments that stripped you bare also revealed who you really are, a warrior clothed in grace, a chosen one refined by fire. Every battle was writing something inside you that victory alone could never teach. The ache in your heart taught you to love deeply. The silence of God taught you to listen more closely. The disappointment taught you patience, and the delay taught you discernment. Nothing has been wasted, not one tear, not one moment. Remember this, those who have suffered deeply often carry the strongest healing anointing. The world may not see it yet, but heaven knows what's inside you. Soon, those who once questioned you will witness the glory that was hidden in your endurance. And through it all, the word speaks again. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 30, verse 5, "Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." Your morning is coming. The long night of tears is ending. You are standing on the edge of joy that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on divine promise. What you've endured was never wasted. It was sacred preparation. So now, take a breath and declare this in faith. Comment, "I'm ready." Type it not as a routine gesture, but as a prophetic statement. "I'm ready" means you're done hiding from the pain that shaped you. It means you recognize that what broke you also built you. It means you're stepping into the new with faith, not fear. When you comment those words, you align with heaven's timeline. You signal to the unseen realm that you are ready for the next chapter. Your story is shifting. Your heart is stronger. Your purpose is rising from the ashes. You will no longer carry the weight as a wound, but as a weapon of testimony. You are chosen, not because life was easy, but because you refused to quit. When you write, "I'm ready," heaven hears it as more than words, it's surrender. It's the sound of a heart aligning with divine timing. It means you are done running from your calling, done questioning your worth, and fully stepping into the identity God already declared over you. When you say, "I'm ready," you speak life into every dormant dream and buried hope. You give God permission to move, to restore, to reveal what has been hidden. Those two words become a doorway to destiny, unlocking strength and courage that have been waiting for your obedience to meet opportunity. When you type, "I'm ready," it's a declaration that you accept the refining, embrace the process, and trust the promise. You no longer need to see the full path, you just need to follow the voice. This moment marks a shift. Heaven moves when faith speaks, and your faith is speaking now. There came a time when you looked around and realized that familiar faces were missing. The people you once depended on had drifted away. The places that once brought you comfort no longer felt like home. You tried to understand why God would allow such separation, but deep within, you sensed that something sacred was happening. This wasn't abandonment, it was divine isolation. When God sets you apart, He often starts by stripping away what once felt safe. He removes the noise, the distractions, and the attachments that keep you tied to the ordinary. The loneliness you felt wasn't rejection, it was invitation. Heaven was saying, "Come away with me." You were being called into solitude so that your spirit could finally hear without interference. Divine isolation is not the same as human loneliness. Loneliness says you've been forgotten, but divine isolation says you've been chosen. God isolates those he intends to elevate. Before he reveals a voice, he silences the crowd around it. Before he pours out glory, he ensures that the vessel is empty enough to carry it. That's why people left. Plans failed, and paths closed. It wasn't sabotage, it was sanctification. Think of Joseph in the pit, David in the wilderness, or Elijah by the brook. Each one was separated not to be silenced, but to be strengthened. In isolation, Joseph learned stewardship, David learned worship, Elijah learned obedience, and you, yes. You are learning to trust God when no one else is clapping, when no one else is watching. That is where the deepest roots of faith grow. You have been in a season where heaven's hand felt heavy but holy. God pulled you away so he could pour into you. He didn't want your spirit to be diluted by voices that couldn't see your destiny. What you called loss was actually alignment. The wrong connections had to break so that divine connections could be born. You began to see that not everyone could go where you're going. The higher the mountain, the smaller the circle. There are some places you must walk alone, not because others don't love you, but because they're not assigned to your next level. You are not being punished for growing, you are being positioned for glory. It's in this sacred solitude that your discernment has sharpened. You now recognize energy before words, motives before actions. The silence has made you sensitive to heaven's whispers. You no longer rush to fill empty spaces. You've learned that sometimes emptiness is the room God builds revelation in. The world may look at your isolation and call it inactivity, but heaven calls it incubation. You are in the chrysalis, not the coffin. What looks like stillness from the outside is transformation on the inside. Caterpillars don't die in cocoons. They become what they were born to be. And when the process is complete, nothing can keep them from flying. Divine isolation is a mercy. It protects you from premature exposure. It keeps your heart pure while the oil is still being pressed. You are not missing out. You are being made ready. The ones who rush ahead may sparkle for a season, but those who wait in the quiet glow forever. You may have cried out, "Lord, I feel so alone." And heaven replied softly, "You are never alone when I am with you." You were learning to find company in his presence, to recognize that the companionship of God outweighs the applause of men. Those nights you felt invisible were the same nights angels stood guard over your destiny. Even now, the stillness remains a gift. You have been hidden beneath the shadow of his wings, where no weapon could reach and no voice could confuse you. You've been tucked beneath divine covering, far from chaos, safe from distraction. When God hides you, it is never to bury, it is always to build. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 2, "He made my mouth like a sharpened sword. In the shadow of his hand he hid me. He made me into a polished arrow and concealed me in his quiver." That's where you are hidden, in the quiver, being shaped for perfect aim. The waiting is not wasted time, it's the space between preparation and purpose. You are a weapon in the making, refined in quietness for the day of release. So, do not despise the isolation. Let it finish its work. One day soon, you will understand why solitude was necessary. The same silence that once hurt will become the sanctuary you long to return to, because it was in that silence that you finally heard his voice. When revelation comes, you'll see that the distance was divine direction. Every closed door protected your anointing. Every quiet night rewired your heart to hear only him. Isolation wasn't emptiness, it was encounter. Now you emerge with vision sharpened by silence. What once felt like exile has become empowerment. You carry peace unshaken by noise. Because solitude taught you to stand with God alone. You didn't vanish. You were hidden. While others were seen and celebrated, God tucked you away in quiet places where no applause could reach you. It felt like rejection, but it was really preservation. The hidden season was heaven's strategy to shape your strength in silence. It's in the hidden places that purpose grows. Roots don't form in sunlight. They grow deep underground. Unseen by the world, but fully known by God. You thought nothing was happening, but heaven was building foundations that eyes couldn't witness. The stillness wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You weren't forgotten, you were being fortified. Every prayer whispered through tears. Every moment you questioned if God still heard you, he did. He saw the nights when your faith trembled yet refused to break. He watched you love people who misunderstood you. Forgive those who never apologized. And keep walking even when the road turned dark. These unseen choices are the currency of calling. They build the kind of strength that no stage can fake. The hidden season was your classroom. It taught you that true greatness doesn't need to be seen to be significant. It taught you that when no one else is watching, heaven still is. You learned to serve without spotlight, to love without return, and to believe without proof. That's what made you dangerous to darkness. Now, something inside you is beginning to stir. The silence that once felt suffocating now feels sacred. You can sense that your time in the shadows is nearing its end. The same God who hid you is now preparing to reveal you, but not for validation, for mission. Because revelation without humility destroys destiny. But you've learned humility in secret. And that's why promotion is near. When God finally unfolds what he's been building, the world will see the fruit, but heaven will know the roots. Everything you've endured will make sense. The rejection, the isolation, the waiting, it was all soil. Fertile with divine intention, nothing was wasted. You will look back and whisper, "Now I see why it had to be this way." Your voice will carry weight because it was forged in waiting. People will listen because your words will come wrapped in truth, soaked in experience, and anointed by endurance. And when you speak, chains will break not because you're loud, but because your spirit carries authority. The beauty of your hidden season is that it taught you to value presence over performance. You no longer crave attention, you crave alignment. You've stopped chasing opportunities that aren't meant for you. You've learned to let God open doors instead of knocking them down yourself. That's what makes you unshakable. And when the time comes for you to step forward, it won't be about spotlight, it will be about assignment. You'll walk with quiet confidence, knowing that your worth was never measured by visibility, but by obedience. You will stand before people with the calm of someone who has already met God in the secret place. We are reminded through the writings in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known." everything concealed in your quiet seasons, your faith, your tears, your prayers is about to be revealed in beauty and purpose. Heaven is unveiling what it has been nurturing. The time of silence is turning into a song, and your heart will recognize the melody because it's the one you hummed through the pain. And now, as you feel this truth sink deep into your spirit, let your next act be gentle, sincere, and free like sunlight spilling across a new morning. If this word touched something inside you, let it breathe. Let it move through your hands. Let it ripple beyond you. Press the heart like not as habit, but as harmony. Let a share become your whisper of agreement with heaven's rhythm. Let your subscription be a seed, a quiet yes that says, I want to stay close to the voice that reminds me who I am. Do it not because you're told, but because you feel the tug of connection, the beauty of shared light. You're not just reacting, you're responding to the sound of destiny calling you higher, deeper, closer, because when light recognizes light, something eternal awakens. And as you release that small act of agreement into the world, heaven smiles because your yes, even in digital form, becomes an echo of divine purpose fulfilled. You are stepping from hiddenness into harvest. What was once quiet soil beneath your feet will soon bloom with divine beauty. Every unseen prayer has become a root. Every whispered yes, a seed. Now heaven breathes upon it, and what was buried begins to rise into radiant life. The light that once only flickered within you will soon blaze upon mountains. Your story, once silent, will become a melody of redemption. Walk gently but boldly. Destiny is unfolding like dawn across your path. What heaven started in secret will now speak through your shining presence. There is a holy pattern to the fire you've endured. You thought you were being burned, but in truth, you were being refined. Every flame that licked at your heart was never meant to destroy you, it was sent to reveal you. God has been melting away everything false, everything fragile, everything temporary, so that only what is pure could remain. The refining fire is not punishment, it is proof of his preparation. Gold is not formed in comfort, it's revealed in heat. Diamonds are not created in stillness, they emerge through pressure. So, when the pressure built around you, when you felt surrounded by tests too heavy to carry, remember you were being purified, not punished. Heaven was cleansing you for your calling. You may have wondered why life grew heavier the moment you said yes to God. It's because fire only visits those who carry value. The higher the calling, the hotter the fire. And yet, through every test, every battle, every season of refining, you did not vanish. You glowed. That glow is heaven's mark, the light that darkness cannot comprehend. The refining season exposes motives, burns away pride, and silences fear. It teaches you to trust the one who walks in the flames beside you. Just as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego discovered, the fire that was meant to destroy them became the stage where God's presence was revealed. What was meant for your destruction has become your declaration. You are still standing. The Word of God declares in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, I will put this third into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people. And they will say, the Lord is our God. That's your story written in divine ink. You are part of the people he refines, not rejects. The heat was never meant to harm you. It was meant to harden your faith into unshakable substance. Some things could only fall off in the fire. You didn't lose them, you were freed from them. The relationships that couldn't stand the heat were never meant to walk into your next season. The habits that burned away were chains disguised as comfort. The fire revealed truth. You've emerged wiser, stronger, and softer all at once. The strength to stand and the tenderness to love are both born in the flames. The world will look at you and see power, but heaven will look at you and see purity. Because fire not only shapes it, sanctifies. And now, something inside you has shifted. You no longer fear the heat, because you understand its purpose. You are no longer asking, "Why me?" but declaring, "Use me." You've seen what God can do with ashes. You've seen how he brings beauty out of brokenness. The very places that hurt the most have become altars of glory. You are a testimony of transformation. You have walked through the kind of fire that should have ended you, but it only refined you. And that is why heaven is calling you forward now, not as the same person who entered the fire, but as the purified version who carries its glow. So now, chosen one, as a prophetic sign of faith. Comment 444 below. This isn't superstition, it's symbolism. 444 represents divine stability and foundation. When you type it, you're declaring, "I have been refined, and I stand firm." It means the shaking has ended. The purifying has done its work. And now you are stepping into solid ground. It's not just a number, it's your declaration that the fire did not win. Faith did. When you comment it, imagine the sound of your own spirit whispering to heaven, "Thank you for the fire that made me whole." Feel the peace that comes from knowing the storm has served its purpose. Every flame, every tear, every night of confusion, all of it was making room for clarity, courage, and calling. You are stepping into a new radiance. You've passed the test that can't be taught in comfort. From here on, your steps carry the fragrance of fire, proof that you've been through the blaze and come out glowing. The refining is over. The revealing begins. When you type 444, you're not just entering numbers, you're engraving testimony. It's your quiet way of saying, "I've walked through the fire, and I still believe." Those digits become a symbol of stability, of faith that no storm could steal, of the unshakable foundation God built within you. Each four stands like a pillar, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit surrounding the temple of your soul. The final four represents you, now standing firm among them, no longer fragile, but fortified. You are not the same as before. You are the proof that refinement creates resilience. So, as your fingers move, let your spirit speak. I am standing. I am ready. I am whole. Heaven reads that comment as worship, your declaration that the fire finished its work. There comes a moment on every path of faith when the ground beneath your feet trembles. You feel as though everything you've built could collapse with one more breath. Heaven grows quiet. Prayers echo back empty. And you begin to wonder if you've been forgotten. Yet in that silence, something sacred is happening. Faith is being tested. When heaven tests faith, it is not to expose weakness, but to reveal strength. God already knows what's in you. The test is to show you what He's planted there. It's in the moments of uncertainty, when logic fails and sight is blurred, that your belief either breaks or blossoms. You are standing in that threshold right now, the thin space between promise and proof. You've been told that faith is confidence, but true faith is surrender. It's choosing to trust when every emotion screams doubt. It's standing still when everything in you wants to run. You are learning that trust isn't built on outcomes, it's anchored in presence. God's silence is not absence, it's strategy. When He hides His hand, He's training your ear to hear His heart. There's something powerful about reaching the edge of yourself and discovering that grace still holds you. You've come to the end of your own strength before, and yet somehow you didn't fall apart, you fell into His mercy. The test you are walking through isn't proof that God has left you, it's evidence that He believes you're ready to grow deeper. Abraham faced the test when he climbed Mount Moriah, not because God wanted his sacrifice, but because heaven wanted his surrender. The climb wasn't about losing Isaac, it was about proving faith. In your own way, you've been climbing too, carrying what feels precious to you, wondering if obedience will cost you everything. But on the mountaintop, just when the knife of fear hovers near your promise, God whispers, "Now I know you trust me." The Word of God declares in the book of James, chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." You've been walking through that production process. Perseverance has been quietly forming in you. The tears that fell in frustration were watering seeds of endurance. You don't yet realize it, but you've been changing. You no longer crumble when delays come. You no longer panic when doors close. You have been tested, and testing has made you stable. Every trial carries a message if you're willing to listen. The question isn't, why is this happening, but what is heaven teaching me here? Because faith that's never tested is faith that cannot be trusted. You are being trained to carry greater things, and greater things require greater faith. This testing is sacred ground. You may feel weary, but heaven is watching with confidence, not pity. God doesn't test those He doubts, He tests those He intends to trust with more. You are not being punished, you are being proven. And what is proven is promoted. The fire you walk through now will one day be your authority to lead others out. Those who are untested can only speak theory, but those who have survived the night can speak with truth. You're earning a voice that carries weight, because your faith has been weighed and not found wanting. You might still be in the middle of your test right now. You may not see the end yet, but even in this in-between, heaven has not changed its mind about you. God's promises do not expire during testing, they expand. Every moment of trust stretches your spirit, shaping capacity for more glory. So, hold steady. The shaking will pass. And when it does, you'll find that what remains is unmovable. Faith tested by fire becomes faith that no storm can shake. You will look back and realize that the silence taught you to listen, that the waiting taught you to worship, and that the test taught you to trust. You are standing on holy ground, even if it doesn't feel like it. The questions, the tension, the uncertainty, it's all part of the divine classroom. And when you finally step out of this test, you will not come out empty-handed. You'll come out with unshakable confidence, knowing that you've seen God remain faithful in the fire. This is the proving season, the moment where faith stops being a word you speak and becomes the breath you live by. When the smoke clears and the dust settles, you'll stand stronger, purer, and wiser, because faith tested is faith trusted, and you have passed through the proving flames with grace still in your hands. When the trial ends, you'll see it was never meant to break you but to build you. The pain was temporary. The strength it produced will last forever. Now peace settles where fear once lived. You've learned to trust the unseen, to rest in the unknown. Your faith has matured into quiet fire. There are battles no one sees, wars that rage behind calm smiles and steady voices. They don't leave visible bruises, but they leave your soul aching. The greatest conflicts are not always fought around you, but within you. That's where the fiercest warfare takes place, inside the silent chambers of your own heart and mind. You faced those moments when your thoughts turned against you, whispering lies louder than truth. The enemy doesn't always come with visible weapons. Sometimes he comes disguised as your own voice, echoing doubts, regrets, and fears. He tries to convince you that your faith is fragile, your purpose uncertain, and your future fading. But what he doesn't understand is that even in battle, your spirit remembers who you are. The battle within is not a sign of weakness, it's proof of destiny. The enemy fights hardest against those carrying heaven's greatest light. The reason you felt such pressure, confusion, and exhaustion is because darkness recognizes what's inside you. You are carrying potential that threatens every plan of the enemy. And when he couldn't destroy you from the outside, he tried to infiltrate the inside. But the mind that was once a battlefield is about to become holy ground. God is reclaiming the territory of your thoughts. The lies that once dictated your peace will no longer rule. The confusion that once clouded your spirit will no longer control. This is the season where truth begins to roar louder than fear. You've been learning that not every thought deserves attention. Some are traps meant to distract, while others are whispers meant to guide. Discernment has been growing in you, quietly, teaching you to recognize the difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction leads you home, condemnation chains you in shame. You're learning to silence every voice that doesn't sound like grace. Sometimes the greatest act of warfare is stillness. When chaos shouts, stillness becomes a weapon. You are discovering the power of inner calm, the ability to rest while storms roar outside. That's not denial, that's dominion. Peace is not the absence of battle, it's the presence of authority. There were days when you wanted to escape your own thoughts, when the noise inside your mind felt louder than the world around you. You questioned your strength, your worth, your ability to keep going. But somehow, through tears and trembling, you chose to keep walking. That choice was victory. You didn't realize it then, but every step through the fog was an act of defiance against the darkness. The Word of God declares in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 4, "The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds." That divine power lives in you. You have been equipped with spiritual weapons stronger than fear, sharper than deception. Worship is your warfare. Truth is your sword. Prayer is your fortress. Every time you lift your heart toward heaven, you strike back at the shadows that tried to silence you. The battle within is not over your past, it's over your peace. The enemy knows that a peaceful mind is a powerful mind. If he can keep you distracted, he can delay your destiny. But if you learn to guard your peace, nothing can stop you. That's why this internal fight matters so much. It's the training ground for your authority. You are being taught how to command your thoughts, to speak truth over fear, to remind your soul that God's voice outranks the enemy's lies. You're not fighting to earn victory, you're fighting from victory. Every time you refuse to give in to despair, heaven calls it triumph. There will still be moments when the old noise returns, but now you'll recognize it for what it is, a shadow without substance. You'll learn to confront it, not with panic, but with peace. You'll say, I know who I am, and I know who fights for me, and the darkness will retreat, because light always wins when it's remembered. You are not losing your mind, you are mastering it. You are reclaiming your inner territory from fear and planting seeds of faith there instead. The same thoughts that once attacked you will one day bow to the truth you now carry. Every time you choose hope over despair, peace over panic, truth over lies, heaven celebrates your victory. You are rewriting the narrative of your mind with divine strength. The battlefield within is becoming a sanctuary of stillness, a place where heaven's voice has no competition. And soon, the war within will give birth to peace without. The calm you've built inside will overflow to everything around you. Because the moment your spirit learns to stand still, the world must shift in response. You are no longer a victim of your thoughts. You are the ruler of your inner realm. The battle within is not ending in defeat, it's ending in revelation. You'll discover that even when you were breaking, you were being built. Even when you were questioning, you were being strengthened. And even when you thought the darkness had won, the light was quietly learning how to shine through you. You've felt it, haven't you? The subtle shift. The awareness that something in you no longer fits the darkness you once tolerated. It's because you carry light now, light that no shadow can extinguish. You were not called to merely survive the darkness, you were born to disrupt it. Your very presence exposes what evil tries to hide. The enemy fears you not because of who you are in your weakness, but because of who you are in your awakening. You carry the light of heaven, and every step you take is warfare. Every time you choose peace over panic, love over hatred, or truth over deception, you make the unseen tremble. Darkness has no defense against a heart that refuses to dim. You were never meant to hide your glow. You were designed to be a torch in a world that has forgotten what hope looks like. That's why life has tried to convince you that your light is too much. It's not. It's necessary. You are the divine interruption in someone else's night. There were seasons when your light flickered, when fatigue, pain, or doubt tried to smother the flame. But somehow, even in weakness, it didn't go out. That's because it was never powered by your strength, it's fueled by grace. You may feel fragile, but your fire is eternal. As the Gospel reveals in John, chapter 1, verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That verse isn't just about Christ, it's about Christ in you. The same unstoppable light that broke through the tomb lives within your spirit. Every time you speak kindness into cruelty, or stand firm in truth when lies surround you, resurrection power moves through you. You are not ordinary, you are illumination wrapped in human form. You've noticed that the more you grow, the more resistance comes. That's not coincidence. Light attracts attention both from those who seek warmth and from those who fear exposure. Don't take their discomfort personally. Some will criticize you simply because your light reminds them of their own shadows. Still, keep shining. Your obedience is not up for debate. You are stepping into a season where your light will guide others out of confusion. People will be drawn to you, not because you are perfect, but because you are pure in purpose. You've been through fire, and now you glow with authenticity. The world is tired of imitation. It needs what's real. And what's real is radiating through you. Your words will begin to carry weight, not because they're loud, but because they're lit with revelation. When you speak peace, turmoil will quiet. When you pray, atmospheres will shift. You've been given authority not to argue with darkness, but to outshine it. That's your calling, to illuminate, not to imitate, even when fear whispers. What if your light goes out? Remember, this darkness can't touch what God ignites. The oil of purpose flows through your spirit daily. Each act of obedience refuels the flame. Each prayer strengthens the glow. Your light isn't fading, it's focusing. And now, right where you are, let this become your declaration. Comment, keep shining. Type it as more than a phrase, as a prophecy. When you write, keep shining, you're reminding yourself that even when exhaustion comes, the fire still belongs to God. You're declaring that your flame will outlast your fear, that your light will guide even when your feet feel heavy. Those two words are a statement of resistance against everything that tried to dim you. Keep shining means I refuse to shrink back. It means I will be the light, even when surrounded by shadow. It means I have been through the dark, and I am no longer afraid of it. Let the world see your quiet courage. You don't need to prove your brightness. You only need to keep burning. Because light doesn't need to announce itself, it simply appears. And everything around it changes. You carry heaven's fire in earthly hands. Walk into this next chapter knowing that your glow is a weapon, your kindness is a sword, and your endurance is a beacon. Every breath you take declares to the unseen world, the light has not gone out, it has only grown stronger. When you comment, keep shining, you aren't typing out of habit, you're choosing identity. You're saying, I will not let disappointment dim me. Each letter becomes a spark. Each word a reminder that the light in you is divine, not dependent on circumstances or applause. When you write, keep shining, heaven hears resolve. It's the cry of someone who has seen darkness and decided to be different. You are declaring that no matter how heavy life feels, you will respond with radiance. You'll carry hope into spaces that forgot what it looks like. Every time you see those words, let them remind you you are illumination in human form. The flame within you is sacred. Protect it, feed it, and release it, because when you shine, others remember their own light too. Something begins to shift when obedience replaces fear. You start to notice doors that were once locked beginning to open. Opportunities that once ignored you, now waiting for your arrival. The air feels lighter. The atmosphere different, not because the world changed, but because you did. You've been refined, tested, and prepared. Now the unfolding begins. When God opens doors, He doesn't need to knock. His timing is not late, it's layered. Every delay you faced was working behind the curtain of time, aligning details you couldn't yet see. The silence wasn't denial, it was synchronization. Now, all that seemed delayed is moving toward you with divine precision. The prayers you thought vanished into the sky have become keys unlocking what was promised. You are standing in a season of alignment. What once felt scattered now forms a pattern. Every no begins to make sense as it leads you to the yes you were meant to find. Heaven's order is weaving through your chaos, turning confusion into clarity. This is what it looks like when divine timing catches up to divine purpose. You've been faithful in the waiting, steadfast in the stillness, and heaven took notice. God is not just opening one door, He's orchestrating a corridor. The momentum building around you is not random, it's redemptive. The years you thought were wasted are being rewritten as testimony. Every closed door was not rejection, it was redirection, ensuring you arrive at the right place. Not just any place. When the door opens, don't hesitate. Walk through it with quiet confidence. You've already paid the price of preparation. The ground you're stepping onto is holy. It's the intersection of destiny and readiness. You're not walking into something new by chance. You're stepping into something that has been waiting for you since before you were born. The divine promise stands in Revelation. Chapter 3, verse 8. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. You may not feel strong, but your perseverance has been your proof. You've kept your integrity when compromise seemed easier. You've held on to truth when lies looked more convenient. That kind of faith builds doors no one else can touch. You're about to see how divine timing works in reverse, how what once felt delayed will now arrive swiftly. How opportunities long forgotten will return at the perfect moment. Don't be surprised when favor begins to recognize you. The same God who hid you in the shadows is now revealing you in the light. As you walk forward, remember this: doors open not for striving, but for surrender. What you fought to force before will now flow naturally. The season of pushing is giving way to the season of peace. The path ahead will not require frantic energy but steady faith. Now, pause for a breath. Feel the quiet joy of alignment settling into your spirit. Everything around you is moving with purpose. The timing, the encounters, the breakthroughs, all of it harmonizes like the final note of a long, sacred song. And as you feel that harmony rise within, let it move through you gently, like light spilling through an open window. If this message stirs something deep in your soul, let that feeling breathe, let it flow through your fingertips as a small gesture of agreement with heaven's rhythm. Press like the way sunlight touches a surface softly, intentionally, leaving warmth behind. Let a share become your echo of gratitude, a ripple extending this light to those still standing before closed doors of their own. And if your heart longs to keep walking beside words that awaken your spirit, let your subscription be a seed planted quietly, yet destined to bloom in time. Do it not because you're told, but because it feels like worship. Because something in you recognizes the beauty of connection, souls gathering around the same fire of faith. These small gestures are not transactions, they're testimonies. Acts of silent agreement between your heart and heaven's whisper that says, yes, this spoke to me. Every movement of your hand carries meaning. Every choice to engage carries intention. You are not simply interacting, you are participating in a divine exchange of hope. Somewhere, someone will feel the warmth you extend today, and their own door will begin to unlock. This is the poetry of obedience, small actions becoming sacred offerings. As you walk through your open door, carry that same spirit forward. Be the one who leaves light behind wherever you go. The doors ahead are not random, they are responses to your endurance. Walk through them softly, aware that every threshold holds purpose. What once felt delayed now feels divinely timed. Everything unfolds in the rhythm of grace. And as you move forward, carry peace as your passport. Don't rush, simply flow. Divine timing doesn't demand hurry, it invites harmony. The door has opened, and it leads straight into destiny. There are moments when everything begins to make sense, not all at once, but like pieces of a puzzle finding their place. What once felt random, painful, or disconnected begins to reveal divine order. You start to see that every delay, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer was part of a pattern, a preparation for this moment. This is the season where divine alignment moves from promise into manifestation. You can feel it, even if you can't explain it. Doors open with ease where you once had to fight. People enter your life who mirror the same faith you've been nurturing in secret. Circumstances that once felt chaotic now move with rhythm, as though heaven's hand is conducting everything around you. That's not coincidence, it's coordination. Heaven never rushes, it orchestrates. This alignment isn't about comfort, it's about calling. When things begin to fall into place, it's not simply to bless you, but to position you. God doesn't just align events, He aligns hearts. He's been aligning yours with His will, molding your desires so that what you seek now naturally draws you toward purpose. The struggle has softened you, the pain has purified you, and now you are ready to carry what He's been preparing all along. Sometimes alignment doesn't feel like a miracle, it feels like motion. You notice you're thinking differently, responding differently, believing differently. The same triggers no longer shake you, and the same fears no longer hold you. That's how you know alignment is happening within you before it manifests around you. The internal shift always precedes the external breakthrough. Divine alignment often begins with discomfort. God rearranges things that no longer serve your destiny. He removes certain relationships, closes certain paths, and disrupts certain plans not to hurt you, but to heal you. The shaking you felt in past seasons wasn't destruction, it was divine architecture. God was clearing space to fit what was always meant to belong. And now, the new is forming quietly, beautifully, precisely. You can sense that what's coming is not something you have to chase, it's something that will meet you where you stand. The same way the tide returns to the shore, blessings are flowing back toward you, carrying the fragments of promises long prayed for. We are assured in the writings of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. You've lived that verse. You've seen how even your mistakes were folded into mercy, how even your missteps became part of the masterpiece. Nothing was wasted, not the tears, not the time, not the waiting. God has been behind every thread, weaving something unshakably beautiful. Alignment means you no longer have to force what flows. You've stopped begging for doors to open, because now you understand that the right ones never need to be pried. You've learned to walk in rhythm with the divine heartbeat. You've discovered the peace that comes when striving ceases. This is maturity, the calm that follows chaos, the quiet that follows clarity. You are entering a space where your life begins to echo heaven's design. Opportunities will align with timing, and timing will align with readiness. The people you meet will not drain you, they will discern you. The work you do will not just fill your hands, it will fulfill your spirit. Everything will begin to fit because you finally fit within yourself. That's what divine alignment does. It restores your internal order so the external world can follow suit. The confusion fades. The anxiety loses volume. You realize that everything that left was necessary for what's arriving. Every unanswered question begins to find resolution, not through explanation but through peace. You will look back and thank God for the misalignments, the times you thought you were being punished but were actually being protected. You'll see how detours were deliverance in disguise, how rejection was redirection, how the very things that didn't work out were saving you for what was meant to. And when alignment is complete, you will no longer chase signs, they will follow you. You'll speak, and things will move. You'll pray, and peace will arrive before the answer does. You'll live not in striving but in flow, knowing that your steps are synchronized with divine timing. This is the fruit of your patience, the realization that everything truly does work together for good. Not some things, all things. Every joy, every sorrow, every silence, every breakthrough. They have all joined hands to bring you to this exact moment. So breathe, trust the timing, rest in the rhythm. What is meant for you is already aligned with you. You no longer need to reach for it, it's reaching for you. You are walking in sync with heaven now. Every step hums with purpose, every breath carries peace. The path ahead doesn't demand effort, it invites trust. Stay steady in this divine rhythm. What's aligned cannot be undone. You are exactly where grace intended you to be. There comes a moment when alignment turns into acceleration, when everything you've prayed for begins to unfold faster than you expected. It's not chaos, it's confirmation. The same God who made you wait is now making things move. The pace feels different because heaven has shifted gears. What once felt stuck now flows freely, and you can sense divine motion all around you. You may wonder why it's all happening now. Why? After years of silence, things are suddenly blooming. It's because heaven moves when you're ready, not when you're restless. God waited until your heart could handle the weight of answered prayer. You've been through the pruning, the refining, the isolation, and now the fruit is forming. This is not random reward, it's righteous timing. There were days you thought nothing was happening. You mistook stillness for stagnation. But beneath the surface, roots were spreading deep into faith. While you saw nothing, heaven was engineering everything. And now the soil has shifted, and what was hidden begins to rise. The things you once chased are now chasing you. Favor recognizes preparation. This is prophetic alignment in motion, the moment where promises stop being words and start becoming realities. The atmosphere around you is responding to your obedience. Every yes you gave in secret is echoing through heaven's corridors, commanding blessings to locate you. This is what divine reciprocity feels like. What you planted in faith returns multiplied in grace. Prophecy declares in Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." It's here, now, the appointed time. Everything that seemed delayed has arrived right on schedule. You are standing in the fulfillment of prayers you thought were forgotten. The doors that open in this season are not ordinary, they're ordained. Walk through them with humility, knowing you are walking on promises that were written long before you worried. But remember, Acceleration requires alignment. Speed without direction is chaos. God's pace is perfect because it comes with peace. You won't have to rush, manipulate, or strive. The right opportunities will feel natural, and the right people will recognize your purpose without you having to prove it. Still, the acceleration can feel overwhelming. You might fear losing control, but that's exactly where grace takes over. God's momentum doesn't need your micromanagement, it only needs your trust. Stay anchored in His voice as everything around you shifts into motion. You'll find that His peace will outrun every pressure. This is your moment of divine momentum. What was stagnant will surge. What was closed will open. What was delayed will deliver. The blessings unfolding are not just for comfort, they're for confirmation. Heaven is showing you that obedience never returns empty. And now, right here, make this your prophetic act of faith. Comment 555 below, not as a number, but as a declaration. The number 555 symbolizes divine transition and grace multiplied. When you type it, you're not chasing signs, you're aligning with them. You're declaring, I'm ready for transformation. I welcome God's pace, even when it stretches me. Each 5 carries meaning, the first for grace that carried you through, the second for grace that surrounds you now, the third for grace that propels you forward. Together, they speak of divine completion through movement, proof that God finishes what He starts. As you write 555, let your heart echo these truths. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are right on time. The shifting you feel is Heaven's gentle hand moving you from preparation into performance, from promise into presence. So breathe deeply. Let gratitude rise instead of anxiety. Everything unfolding now is meant for your good and His glory. You're not trying to make it happen anymore, you're watching it happen, and it's beautiful. This is your appointed time. When you comment 555, it's more than just numbers, it's language between you and heaven. It means I trust the transition. You're saying that even if you can't predict the next step, you believe that grace is guiding it. Every 5 becomes a heartbeat of surrender, a rhythm of divine movement. When you write 555, you're confirming that the waiting season didn't break you, it built you. You're declaring that you've outgrown fear and are ready for flow. The first 5 honors your endurance, the second celebrates your elevation, the third prophesies your expansion. These are not digits, they're declarations of destiny. Each time your eyes see 555, let it remind you that you're walking inside the will of God. The road may still curve, but the direction is secure. Heaven has already gone ahead to prepare the way. So lift your head, breathe deep, and whisper, grace leads me forward. Because this transition isn't taking you away from purpose, it's carrying you straight into it. You have walked through fire and silence, through valleys and mountaintops, and now something sacred is stirring within you. What once felt uncertain now feels inevitable. You are beginning to sense the weight of your true purpose resting on your shoulders, not as a burden, but as a mantle. You've always known deep down that you were called for more than survival. You were chosen to carry meaning, to release light, to become a living reflection of divine intention. Purpose is not always loud. It doesn't always arrive with trumpets or applause. Often, it whispers. It shows up in the small moments when your heart moves toward compassion, when you choose peace over pride, when you extend kindness without reason. Each of those choices weaves purpose into your life's fabric. You are beginning to live not just for existence, but for expression, the expression of heaven through human form. There's a quiet authority rising inside you now. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You no longer need to convince anyone of your calling, because your life itself has become the evidence. The anointing you carry isn't something you wear, it's something you are. You have been prepared in private to lead in purpose. The oil that flows from your obedience will not only bless you, it will overflow to those connected to you. This mantle of purpose doesn't come through ease, it's earned through endurance. The nights you felt invisible were the nights heaven was clothing you in wisdom. The tears you cried were washing away old versions of yourself that could not carry the weight of what's next. You are not stepping into a new season as the same person you are emerging transformed. Every bruise became a mark of maturity. Every scar became a seal of authenticity. It is recorded in the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" You are living that verse right now. Every challenge was a rehearsal for destiny. Every not yet was shaping your now. The strength you built in obscurity is the strength that will sustain you in influence. This is your divine appointment, your for such a time as this moment. And yet, carrying purpose doesn't mean the journey becomes easy. It means you now understand the meaning behind the struggle. You see pain differently. It's no longer punishment, it's permission. Each trial grants you access to a greater level of compassion. You begin to realize that leadership in God's kingdom is not about being above others, it's about being beneath them, lifting them higher through love. Purpose demands humility. It asks that you keep your heart tender even when your hands grow strong. It reminds you that power without purity leads to pride. That's why God trusted you with the long road He needed to build character that could carry calling. You've been pruned, pressed, and purified so that what flows from you now is not ambition but anointing. You are stepping into a time where everything you've learned will converge. The lessons from pain, the wisdom from silence, the endurance from waiting, they will all align. And when you open your mouth, the words won't just sound right, they will carry weight. Because people recognize truth when it's lived, not just spoken. You won't have to strive for influence. Influence will seek you. The light within you is magnetic. Not because it's loud, but because it's real. Those who are weary will find rest in your presence because you'll carry peace that cannot be manufactured. You are becoming a vessel transparent enough for God's light to shine through without distortion. And through it all, remember this: the mantle of purpose is not decoration, it's dedication. It means your life no longer belongs to fear, to doubt, or to hesitation. It belongs to the one who called you, the one who trusted you to carry His message in your voice, His compassion in your hands, and His glory in your steps. The mantle you carry now is sacred. It does not make you better than others, it makes you responsible for them. You are not just called to shine, you are called to serve, to love the unlovable, to heal the broken, to remind the forgotten that heaven still sees them. So walk gently. Chosen one, every step you take from here carries purpose. Every word you speak releases power. Every breath you breathe declares that God is not finished yet. You are living proof that preparation was never wasted. You were born for this. The world is waiting for what only you can carry. Don't shrink to fit old spaces, rise to fill divine ones. purpose has found its voice in you, and heaven's melody now moves through your every motion. Walk with steady wonder. You are not chasing destiny anymore, you are living it. Each sunrise now whispers confirmation you were made for this exact moment in God's unfolding masterpiece. As the mantle settles upon you, a new kind of pressure begins to form, not the crushing weight of despair, but the sacred heaviness of calling. You feel it pressing gently against your soul, reminding you that purpose comes with responsibility. The chosen must endure what others avoid. To be entrusted with light means you will often walk through darkness first. Endurance is not just surviving, it's shining while you wait. You've learned that faith isn't proven when everything feels easy, but when nothing does. God has allowed certain storms to test the strength of your roots. You may have bent, but you did not break. You've stood in winds that would have shattered others, and still, your spirit sings. Every great soul must walk through pressure. Moses faced rejection. David faced betrayal. Paul faced imprisonment. Even Jesus faced isolation. The pattern is always the same. Before revelation comes testing. Pressure is heaven's final proof that you can carry what's coming. What looks like struggle is really stretching, and what feels like breaking is just making room for expansion. You have been in a season where God has been stretching your capacity, your patience, your humility, your perseverance. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Purpose cannot thrive where comfort rules. Growth always demands surrender. The pain you feel is not punishment, it's preparation for the next dimension of grace. You are learning to breathe in battle, to find rhythm in resistance. Endurance is becoming your second nature. The things that once scared you now strengthen you. The tears that once fell in weakness now water your resilience. You've learned to let the fire shape you instead of consume you. That is the essence of endurance, not escaping the storm, but evolving within it. There were moments when you whispered, "God, I can't take another step." And yet somehow, strength rose from somewhere deep within you. That was not your strength, it was His. Every time you reached the edge of yourself, heaven extended grace. You've learned that endurance isn't about your ability to push through, it's about your willingness to keep trusting when there's no visible reason to. The Apostle wrote in Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." You've lived that verse. You've done good when no one was watching. You've sown love even when the soil seemed barren. You've kept faith alive in places that looked hopeless. And now, the harvest is near, not because you forced it, but because you didn't quit. Endurance refines your character until patience becomes peace. It teaches you to carry hope like a shield, even when your hands tremble. It transforms pain into perspective, showing you that no season lasts forever. Every trial has an expiration date. Every storm carries a sunrise. You're learning to hold on just long enough for heaven's timing to reveal itself. Sometimes endurance looks like movement, and sometimes it looks like stillness. It's not always about running forward, it's about refusing to run away. The chosen endure not by sheer willpower, but by divine trust. You've discovered that even waiting can be worship when it's done with faith. The longer you've endured, the deeper your roots have gone. You've become anchored in truth, unshaken by passing storms. The enemy tried to wear you out, but he underestimated your resilience. What was meant to drain you has instead developed you. The pressure that once frightened you now fuels your strength. You are not fragile, you are forged. The fire has done its work, and you carry the shine of someone who has seen both loss and love, both silence and song. Endurance has given you a kind of peace that cannot be faked, a peace that says, "I've been through worse, and I'm still standing." And through it all, you've realized something sacred. Endurance is not just for survival, it's for revelation. It reveals who you truly are, and, more importantly, who God has always been. When everything else fades, His faithfulness remains. You've learned that endurance isn't about reaching the end quickly, it's about reaching it faithfully. So, hold fast. The weight you feel now is the final shaping before release. The mountain that once loomed before you will soon become the platform you stand upon. Every ounce of pressure is producing glory within you, a strength so steady that no future storm can move it. Endurance is the song of the chosen, quiet, steady, and everlasting. You are singing it with every breath you take. Keep walking, the dawn is closer than you think. The fire has refined you into gold, and gold does not fear the flame. What once wounded you now serves you. You have become proof that pressure births power and that endurance outlasts pain. Now peace crowns your perseverance. You walk lighter, steadier, wiser. The weight that once crushed you has become the wings that lift you higher. The journey has been long, and the crown you once only dreamed of is now within reach. Not a crown of gold or fame, but a crown of endurance, humility, and glory, the reward of those who did not give up. Heaven has watched you rise after every fall. Speak life in the middle of silence, and love even when it cost you. That's why the crown fits you now. It wasn't handed to you, it was formed through fire. There's a holy stillness in this moment, a sacred quiet that tells you you made it through what was meant to break you. What others called your ending became your awakening. You've become proof that obedience is stronger than opposition. You no longer crave recognition, you crave revelation. You've learned that victory isn't about applause, it's about alignment. The crown awaits not as a trophy, but as a mirror. It reflects who you've become in the process, the one who endured, the one who loved, the one who stayed when others walked away. It's not about arrival, it's about realization. You realize now that the kingdom you were waiting to enter has always lived inside you. The crown isn't placed on your head to elevate you above others, it's placed to remind you of what you carry within. It represents the authority to heal with compassion, to lead with humility, to shine without pride. And when you wear it, it's not for glory's sake, it's for service. The true kings and queens of heaven are servants first. Every trial you've faced shaped this moment. Every no forged wisdom. Every detour birthed discernment. You thought the waiting was wasting time, but it was polishing your crown. And now, heaven whispers, lift your head, you're ready. The holy text affirms in James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." You are that person, the one who stood the test, even when your knees trembled, the one who loved God, not for blessings, but for belonging. You have earned the quiet strength that radiates from those who have been broken yet still believe. Now, As you step into this next phase, you may feel a tender pull in your spirit, a call to share, to reflect, to let your transformation touch others. If this message stirs something sacred inside you, let that feeling flow freely. Don't rush to act, simply feel. Then, when it feels right, let your response become part of the story heaven is telling through you. Press like, not as a routine, but as recognition, as if your spirit is saying, "Yes, I have seen the journey within me." Let it be a soft acknowledgement, a candle quietly flickering in agreement with truth. If your heart feels the nudge, let a share become more than a digital gesture. Let it be like passing a torch in the dark, one soul lighting another's path. You never know who is standing at the edge of giving up, waiting for a whisper of hope. Your light could be that whisper. And if these words have been water to your weary soul, consider subscribing, not out of habit, but out of harmony. Let it be your way of staying near to the flow of reminders that pull you back toward peace, faith, and divine purpose. Think of it as planting yourself in a garden where truth blooms continually. Finally, when your heart feels it, leave a comment, not for validation, but for connection. Sometimes a few sincere words become bridges for others who need to know they're not alone. Write what rises from your spirit: gratitude, faith, or simply, "I receive it." That's enough. These small acts are not obligations, they're offerings. Each one carries intention, like petals scattered across holy ground. Do them if they feel true to you, not because you must, but because your soul recognizes beauty in the exchange. You have reached the place where the chosen become the crowned, not by force, but by faith. And as the crown settles upon you, may it remind you that your story was never about surviving the fire, it was about becoming the flame. The crown you wear is invisible to the world, but undeniable to heaven. It glows in how you love, forgive, and keep faith. Every humble step you take leaves traces of divine royalty on earthly ground. Carry it with grace. Let humility remain your jewel, and peace your gold. You've been crowned not to conquer others, but to restore what was lost: hope, mercy, light. That's true majesty. And as you walk forward, the heavens watch in quiet joy. You are both servant and sovereign, chosen and crowned. The journey has shaped you into living testimony that love endures, and obedience always leads to glory. There are moments when you can feel heaven breathing through you, when your very existence becomes evidence of divine presence. This is the release of glory. The moment when everything God has cultivated within you begins to pour outward. It's not loud or dramatic, it's sacred and steady. Glory doesn't always arrive in thunder. Sometimes it arrives in the quiet glow of a heart completely surrendered. You've carried the oil of endurance, the fragrance of faith. And now, heaven is releasing through you what was once hidden within you. This is not about fame or recognition, it's about reflection. You were never meant to hoard the light, you were meant to transmit it. Glory flows where surrender lives. When God releases glory, it feels like peace you cannot explain. It moves through your words, your gestures, your very presence. People begin to encounter something through you that's not of you. It's the touch of heaven disguised in human kindness. You become a mirror, not a source. The glory doesn't point to you, it passes through you. This release is gentle but powerful. It changes how you see the world. Suddenly, bitterness no longer fits in your spirit, and anger loses its voice. You start choosing love, not because it's easy, but because it's the only language your spirit now understands. The release of glory purifies perspective. It replaces reaction with revelation. You've noticed it already, the quiet strength, the calm authority, the peace that stays even in uncertainty. That's not self-control. That's the presence of God flowing freely through you. You've reached a level of spiritual maturity where you no longer chase manifestations, you carry them. The supernatural has become natural because your heart is aligned with heaven's rhythm, as proclaimed in the scroll of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. That light is not distant, it's dwelling within you. It's the radiance of transformation, the beauty of faith fulfilled. When glory rests on a person, even their silence speaks. You no longer need to announce what God is doing. Your life becomes the announcement. This is the phase where the private work becomes public impact. The seeds of prayer you planted in hidden seasons are now blossoming into visible fruit. You'll begin to see how everything you endured had purpose. The healing you fought for in solitude will now flow through your hands to heal others. The peace that once seemed unreachable will now spill into every room you enter. The release of glory doesn't always look miraculous. Sometimes it looks ordinary. A smile that breaks someone's despair. A word that restores someone's courage. A prayer whispered in a grocery line that changes someone's day. Glory doesn't seek stages, it seeks hearts. And yet, even as God's glory moves through you, you remain grounded. You've learned that power without humility becomes pride. You no longer need to prove anything. Your proof is presence. The miracles around you are not trophies, they're testimonies of mercy. Every answered prayer is another reminder that God keeps His promises. Not because of your perfection, but because of His nature. As you move in this new rhythm, you'll find that your priorities change. You'll crave peace more than applause. You'll measure success not by recognition, but by restoration. You'll desire to see others awakened more than to be admired. This is the fruit of glory. Self fades, and love reigns. Sometimes the release feels like a river, other times like a soft wind. It meets every environment differently, but its essence is the same. Life flows wherever it goes. You are becoming a vessel of that flow, a conduit of heaven's compassion. The same hands that once trembled in fear now carry fire that comforts. Glory doesn't mean your battles are over. It means you've learned how to fight differently. You no longer wrestle to prove your worth. You rest in knowing it. You no longer pray from panic but from peace. Your authority has deepened, and heaven trusts you to carry presence without pride. This is the release, subtle yet seismic. The world around you begins to feel lighter because you've become a bridge between divine and earthly realms. You are walking proof that glory is not reserved for the distant holy. It's poured into those who simply say, "Here I am. Use me." Carry it softly. Let it flow naturally. The glory upon you is not meant to overwhelm, it's meant to awaken. When others encounter you, they should feel the echo of heaven's embrace, not the weight of your effort. That is true glory, God revealed through grace. The glow now resting on you is not fleeting, it's formed from fire, pressed from perseverance, and sealed by surrender. It will not fade, because it was never borrowed, it was born within you. Walk gently in that light. Let it spill quietly into every space you enter. You are no longer carrying glory, you have become its living expression. And now, everything comes full circle. The waiting, the warfare, the whispers in the dark, all of it converges here. You can feel the stillness before dawn, the quiet awareness that something holy has settled in your soul. This is completion, not as an ending, but as fulfillment. Heaven is no longer preparing you. Heaven is releasing you. You were chosen for this exact moment. Every tear, every test, every silence has prepared you to stand here strong, steady, and surrendered. You no longer question why it had to be this way. Now you understand that every valley built your vision, every wound taught you wisdom, and every pause refined your perception. The weight you once cursed has become the crown you now carry. You are not the same person who began this journey. You've become softer in spirit, yet stronger in stance. You've learned that power doesn't roar, it rests. You carry an authority that doesn't need to shout because it's born of stillness. Heaven has written resilience into your very breath. You've moved from striving to surrender, from fear to faith, from calling to commission. Completion in God's design never means finality, it means readiness. The process has done its work. The fragments of your story have found their place within His purpose. The moments that once hurt now harmonize with meaning. The puzzle fits. The preparation is done. Now comes the purpose unveiled. You've been walking by faith for so long that you may not even notice how far you've come. The same steps that once trembled now tread with certainty. The voice that once wavered now speaks with weight. This is the fruit of obedience, confidence born not of ego, but of encounter. The sacred words still echo from Philippians. Chapter 1, verse 6, being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. That verse is your closing anthem. What God started, He is finishing, not halfway, not partially, completely. You were never in danger of missing destiny, because destiny was always walking beside you, even through the detours. The plan never failed, it unfolded. Completion looks different than you imagined. It's not a moment of celebration, it's a moment of clarity. You realize that what you were waiting for has always been within you. The power, the peace, the purpose, they were planted long before the pain. You simply needed the process to bring them to bloom. Now, heaven releases you not as someone searching, but as someone sure. You are no longer asking for signs. You have become one. You carry the evidence of divine timing in your scars, the proof of grace in your peace. You are the living reminder that what God touches never stays ordinary. Completion is not quiet resignation, it's radiant readiness. It's standing in the middle of life's unknowns with eyes that see differently. It's the freedom to move forward without needing to understand everything. It's the unshakable awareness that even if you don't know what's next, you know who goes with you. You were chosen for this moment not to shine alone, but to shine the way home for others. Your story is a lantern for those still walking through shadow. Your endurance has become a map for the weary. The glory that rests upon you now will guide many toward grace. The culmination of this journey is not recognition, it's revelation. You see now that the true miracle was never in what changed around you, but in what changed within you. Faith has become your native language, hope your steady rhythm, love your lasting legacy. And as the circle closes, you realize it was never about reaching a destination. It was about becoming a vessel. Everything you lost made space for what you were meant to carry. Every moment you thought you'd fallen was actually the hand of God lowering you into deeper purpose. Now you stand where heaven always intended you to stand, whole, awake, and anchored. You are no longer waiting for your moment. You are the moment, the chosen one, prepared for greater things. Standing in the fullness of divine design, let peace crown your journey and purpose guide your steps. The story continues, not because you are unfinished, but because glory keeps expanding through you. You were chosen, refined, and now revealed for such a time as this. You are standing where prophecy meets promise. Every heartbeat now echoes eternity's rhythm. The heavens recognize you not as unfinished, but as unveiled. You are walking evidence that divine timing never fails and grace never forgets its chosen. Breathe in this peace. It's your inheritance. Every scar now glows with meaning. Every silence hums with answered prayer. The waiting is over. You've become the message you once longed to hear. Step forward, steady and shining. The world awaits the light you carry. You are not emerging, you have arrived. What heaven began in you now moves through you. Endless as mercy, certain as dawn. This is your divine becoming. And now, as the final words rest upon your heart, let this truth settle deep into your spirit. You are chosen, and you are ready. Not someday, not when everything is perfect. Now, you've walked through the refining, endured the silence, carried the fire, and stood in faith even when the path was unclear. Heaven's preparation has led you right here to the threshold of greater things. There is no need to rush forward, simply breathe. Let gratitude fill the spaces where worry once lived. You are not standing at the end, you are standing at the unveiling of a new beginning. The story doesn't close, it continues through you. Every word you speak, every act of kindness you release, becomes another ripple in the river of purpose. And if this journey has spoken to you, if somewhere along these words your spirit felt seen, then let that recognition move through you. Press like not as reaction, but as remembrance, a way of saying, I've received this truth, and I will carry it. Let a share become a gentle act of generosity, passing light to another soul, still searching for confirmation. If your heart feels drawn to stay connected to this flow of words that remind you of who you are, let your subscription be a quiet promise, a whisper to heaven that says, I'm ready to keep walking in light. And finally, if something within you has awakened through this message, take a moment to express it below. Leave a comment that captures your gratitude, your peace, your own declaration of faith. These words don't belong to one voice. They belong to all of us who are learning, growing, and rising together. So as this chapter closes, remember, you are not alone, and you are not late. You are right on time. Your story is still unfolding, your light still expanding, and heaven is still writing through you.